Good evening, folks, and welcome to Fey Earth, our indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where the Fey live alongside humanity. Our game is set in the year 1872 in the Auvergne region of central France. It's approximately 6 months since France and Prussia lost the Franco Prussian War, which in our timeline was not a war between France and Prussia, but an alliance in which France and Prussia had attacked the Fey nation of Arcadia, which is nestled between the two regions, roughly the Black Forest region of Germany, down through into the Austrian Alps, but not Bavaria, and then coming up into the Alsace region of France as well, approximately, and half of Switzerland. So anyway, our party of heroes have been traveling around and have found themselves coming together in this town, Cocheville, where they have discovered a lot of strange things happening. There is a very large and very ancient oak forest about 2 hours outside of the town, which always had something of a Fey presence, but that Fey presence has grown greatly over the last 4 to 6 months. And the party have kind of found themselves being forced into a position of being intermediaries in human Fey affairs between the two groups. So before we go any further, I am going to ask one of my players, whoever wants to give us a recap of our last session.
I'd love to hear someone else's perspective. Honestly.
All right. So the party was in the inn, and uh, Gwynn basically grabbed the lodestone and said, "Well, I owe you all for last night." That being me referencing the poisoned wine incident with the fairies, which we still haven't dealt with, by the way. Went up to the elf, went up to this beautiful, mysterious blonde who's surrounded by men buying her drinks. Started chatting to her, like offering to rescue her, and then ended up going on a lovely moonlit walk because it's close enough to the full moon. At which point, the rest of us, especially Sylvia, basically panicked, hauled Mina up by the collar of her blouse, and like, okay, we have to go, we have to go, and basically they all went out following. Um, Gwyn and the mysterious blonde were walking along, and then the blonde started waving her hands, constructing shadows. Um, we caught up, saw the shadows. Justine was able to cast detect magic and discern that they were that it was shadow magic cast by a very powerful caster. So we decided, and then she magically made noise to distract us. So we pretended to go in that direction to like kind of draw attention away for ourselves. And then the blonde was like, "Want to go back to mine?" So Gwyn was totally in favor of this. So they walk on in the direction of the Tronquay Forest, go into the Tronquay Forest, into this lovely cottage, which we had actually passed in the previous session after the incident with the poisoned wine on the fairies. And then, yeah, they went in and got down to business. The rest of us caught up anyway, and it took us a lot longer because the trails kept shifting, and Sylvia and Justine kept kind of tripping because we don't have dark sight, and got to the cottage, and Justine sent Anki, Anki, her familiar, and got a good full look at everything that was going on, and spotted that Gwyn was basically having sex with this really hot elf. So, which we'd all suspected, to be honest. Um, and yeah, she looked happy enough and not like she needed rescuing. So there was a bit of faffing around trying to figure out what we were going to do. So we decided to send a message to Gwyn that we were outside, but we'd be back in the morning, which she couldn't reply to. So we basically went back and left her there. And the next day, Gwynn basically, oh, there was a guy there who looked really uncomfortable that Gwynn was there. Then after Melisende was like, oh, Gwynn walked into the kitchen completely naked while this guy was cooking. And he was like, oh, you need to leave, you need to leave. There had been a previous companion, Piotr, who was turned into a marionette because he kind of got the flu. And Jan, the guy we now know is Justine's brother, he's given Gwynn his pocket watch to give to Justine. Gwynn has not told him that she knows Justine. And as she's leaving the forest, she realizes that she is now considers this elf Melisende to be her beloved friend. The rest of us are walking back to the forest as she's doing her proud walk of, I'm not fucking ashamed at all, I had a great night. So yeah, that's where we left it.
Okay. Right. So, Gwyn, you having just left the forest, of you walking along now, you know that the Castilian farm is pretty much on the border of the forest. Okay, so you have to pass it on the way back to Cherville. All right.
Can I sprint?
Yeah, sure, of course you can, but unfortunately, as you are going past, you see a figure, a beautiful young blonde woman who immediately spots you because you're sprinting, and she quickly runs over to the gate. And just as you're getting to it, Juliet standing there.
Juliet, and I'll go over and give her a peck on the cheek and just tell her I have something really important to do. You won't believe what happened. I think we found Justine's brother. And I really need to get back, but I'll call back for you if that's
So,
safe with
as
your
you
dad.
lean in, you give her the peck on the cheek and you pull back, and as you do, you notice a kind of a sudden flaring of her nostrils and a flash of emotion across her face
Oh,
as she takes a step back from you as you're saying all this. Yes, we um um um
are you okay? I'll just lean in and grab her arm.
as you go to Lena, she steps
Or
back
to
further.
steady her. Okay.
No, she's like almost recoiling from you.
Mm,
um I think I hear my father calling. I have to go, and she turns, heading back to the farmhouse.
okay, that was really weird. And I'll just go. I'll keep going, sprinting
Hmm.
towards the village.
Okay.
She is definitely some sort of werewolf. 100%. Oh god.
Okay. Well. So yeah.
You're building up quite the collection, Gwynn.
I
Mm.
am. I am indeed.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, you start making your way back to Cherville.
Yeah, as fast as I can.
And yeah. So
We're on the way back,
yous
right?
have literally, yous had like literally just left the inn, and yous are making your way, uh, out towards out towards the forest. Okay, and so yeah, use it's early enough in the day. Just give me 1 second. So it's a Tuesday morning. Okay, um, and yeah, you come out of the town, and you get to the edge of the town. You cross the bridge over the Cher River. Okay, and you making your way. You know the way at this stage. You've gone this road many times to the Tronquay Forest. And just as you come along, there's this huge oak tree that's like just across the river on the bank. Okay, You've passed it loads of times, okay? Um, it looks like the kind of tree that fairies would love to live in, but it's like right on the edge of the village, you know. So you're quite confident there's no fae living in this tree, you know, because like if this tree was in the forest, it would be all full of fairies probably, you know. But no, like it's right on the edge of the village, like okay. So just as you cross the bridge and you're getting up, and the tree's like maybe 10, 15 meters ahead of you, you see the strangest sight ever. You see like light emerging from the trunk of the tree. The tree trunk is nearly a meter wide. This is a very old oak. It's many hundreds of years old. Okay, um, and you see this like white light appearing on the trunk in the shape of a doorway. All right, and there's a shimmering as a moment later a figure steps through the light and appearing in front of you, having magically stepped out of the tree, is Aminata.
Bonjour.
You're muted, Susie.
You couldn't do that when you left, could you?
I've explained before that my job sometimes I I I don't even get any notice. Somebody just arrives, picks me up, and whoop.
Yeah, no, I get that, but the ability to travel through a tree, this is quite impressive. Do you have this magic?
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
okay. I thought perhaps you had grown massively in power, and I was very impressed.
Oh, believe me, if I could tree slide, I would do it all the time. No. That was I suppose my colleague. His name is Jean. He helps me get from place to place.
Oh, well, so we're going in the direction of the Tronque Forest. Perhaps you would like to come with us. We will catch you up, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Let's go.
Justina's just going to like say nothing and just hug Aminata really, really tight.
Oh.
Aminata is going to literally squeeze the shit out of Justine because once again feeling really bad about just disappearing on the party, but also considering what I knew that I never got to really tell anyone. I'm going to take this opportunity to do so.
Oh, okay.
So before we continue, I know we're going back to the Donkey Forest. Just in case we meet that urban lady, I just want to say the last time we were in her house and we were mentioning about a collector of sorts, a look passed her face as if this was something she was familiar with. Now I don't know what's happened since, but I never got the opportunity to tell you before because there was the party and Juliet and all sorts of madness.
Yeah, a great many things have happened. So, we'll sum this up quickly. There was a fairy who had been ousted from her home. We agreed to help, and Gwynn gave them a bottle of wine to get the other fairies who had moved into this area to move, and the wine turned out to be poisoned, which none of us had actually known. So we can't actually go into the forest.
Oh,
Probably. And there was a mysterious blonde who turned up. Then we believed, we suspected this might be the collector of some kind. And Gwyn went off with her into the Tronque forest, and they got very, very, very close, if you get my meaning. And she is an elf.
Ooh.
She is an elf.
oh. Do we happen to know her name?
No, we didn't talk to her. Justine got a very good look at what was going on, and
Oh, Justine, are you okay?
No.
Oh, mon petit chouchou. I'm not just going to like pat her hand, but at the same time, I want details, all of the details. Uh, but I'm I'm going to turn to Justine and say, would you say she has a resemblance to the Lady of the Forest?
Um, they're both beautiful. They were both elves. They were both blonde.
You can give me an intellect check, Justine.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you have memory.
No, I don't think
believe
so.
you do. No, you don't. Oh no, you do.
My
You do have memory.
I do have memory.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so that's a +5 to the roll.
19.
With that 19, I mean, it's kind of, you saw what was happening with Gwyn and Aminata, but you very much, as soon as you realized what you were seeing, tried to unsee it. Okay? But with that but it was still kind of burned into your memory in graphic
As it
detail.
would.
Yeah. So I will say with that 19 roll, not only you remember two things. One, this elf actually, now that Aminata has said it, you didn't notice it when you saw your friend in the throes of sapphic passion and you were dealing with the shock of that, but now that Aminata has said this to you, you're like, actually, now that I think of it while trying not to think of it, she did look very, very similar to the Lady of the Forest Moraine. You could well believe that this person might be possibly a younger sister, or a similar close relative. You also noticed that Gwyn has some tattoos. Yeah.
Sexy. What kind of tattoos?
Gwyn, because she saw everything.
Yes, you saw everything, including my tattoos. They are kind of abstract, I guess you could say. They're flame-like, up the back of my calves.
Are they in color or are they in black?
No, they'd be hand poked, so they're kind of,
Yeah.
DIY job, but yeah, kind of grey-black.
Grey-black, yeah, but in a stick and poked style, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so, right. So, yeah, Justine, as I said, you remember that now, okay?
So yeah, Justine's going to say that. Now, now that you said it, I think they did look very similar. But I'm not sure anymore because I've never dealt with elves. So I don't know. These are literally the only two elves I've seen in my life, so I don't know how elves are similar to each other normally.
Well, in that regard, I know that elves, quite like humans, they share familial characteristics, So I suppose that's one of the ways that makes it a lot easier to know who you're not related to. Um, I have a feeling that this elf, who Gwen had quite a lovely dalliance with, may be related to the Lady of the Forest, and if she was ousted from her home, I don't know. Is she dangerous, maybe? Or.
She's an elf, so they are all dangerous in some way because they're so powerful.
Yeah, even if they're not related, I would say two elves in the forest but not together probably means something. Because we all look for kinship. We all look for something that we can relate to. So why is one of them living in the palace and the other is living in the cottage in the forest?
Yeah, I am not angry with Gwyn for doing this,
Oh,
but
no.
I am angry that she left, that she said nothing, that she just did this without giving us any warning at all. Between that and the incident with Divine, we now have to deal with the repercussions of what she has
I'm
done.
actually very angry. I am very angry at Gwyn.
So while you were all saying this, because Mina is with you. Unfortunately, our dear friend Christina is not with us because she's not well tonight. But Mina is with you, and you look over and you notice that you can Sylvia, you understand it because it's in German, but this angry, what the rest of you sounds like muttering, but you actually recognize it. It's Mina is angrily saying decades of the rosary while she fingers a pair of rosary beads in her hand as she's walking along.
Um, well, because of the similarity, I'd say that the Lady of the Forest knew exactly who we were talking about when we were with her that day at the table. And she chose not to say anything.
Well, speaking of the lady, that is that's another very serious problem that we have because of the decisions that Finn has made. Because of the incident with the poison vine, we don't know how the Lady of the Forest is going to react to this. I don't think any of us can go into the forest again, which means I can't gather herbs for tinctures. And it's because Gwyn did this without talking to us. And I am not saying that we should all, obey orders and be, disciplined. I know this isn't the army. I'm very happy to not be in the army anymore, but we now have to bear the consequences of this. So, uh, yeah, I don't know what the Lady of the Forest is going to do. We may now have an elf who is seriously angry with us.
Um, well, if this other elf is the one who gave you the wine,
No,
technically,
no, Gwyn gave the vine to the fairies that was poisoned. She made poison and gave the poison vine to the fairies.
ah,
Although
ah,
speaking of which, I do have a confession to make. Um, so then Gwyn and I uh, were gathering herbs. I noticed that she was not. I was gathering herbs to heal. She was gathering herbs that would be more commonly used in poisons. But at the time, I didn't say anything because I did not know her well. I did not know what she intended to do. Um, and she was making something while I was making my potions, and that was fine. I never heard anything about it again. But the other day, when we were trying to make more tinctures, we made a mess of it, and um, we managed to salvage it. But I was very distracted at the time, and um, I did not. I spotted her. Um, decanting it, but I had to leave the room suddenly because the fumes were bad. So I didn't ask her about it, but when she presented the vine, I suspected but didn't say anything at the time. So perhaps I bear some responsibility also.
No,
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 Sylvia, it's
no.
not your fault. You still try to kind of step to make a step forward and kind of try to hug Sylvia, but she kind of stops midway because she's not sure if she should or if she should not. But she'll
Are
try her
you
best
are
to
you
confront.
are you going to try and hug Sylvia?
No,
um, Sylvia, you. You are right not to make any assumptions as to what Gwen was doing because, for all intents and purposes, all we've ever known from Gwen is uh, actually she did shoot Dubois, but that was justified.
he deserved it. Yeah.
However, there was nothing to ever indicate that Gwen was malicious or doing anything like that in any regard. And like you said, you were busy making your own tinctures. You were busy trying to do what you were doing. It's natural that you'd give the people you're traveling with, essentially your friends, the benefit of the doubt. It was not your fault at all. And at that, Nat is actually going to step up to Sylvia, give her a hug because we've had our little heart to heart moment. And
Sylvia's gonna like you're gonna feel her genuinely kind of just flinch and sit and go like, you know, ah, because it was very unexpected and yeah.
no,
Feel free to make an insight check if you want, but like this is
oh,
she kind of just goes.
I will make an insight check on that so I know whether or not I can hug you in the future. But I'll say it's not your fault. Not your fault whatsoever. The only thing we could really do is ask Gwyn about it.
Well, now this has happened, so and we have to bear the repercussions. She left all of us behind to deal with the mess that she has left.
That is true. However, we should still wait for Gwen
Yes.
to talk to Gwen about it because like adults we can use our rationale, try and talk it out. However, I'm quite concerned now as to what this means for Juliet.
Yeah, I had talked to Gwyn before. She had seemed to care very deeply for Juliet. And last night it was as though she had ceased to exist. Honestly.
I think it's none of my business.
Eh, as it technically no. As friends, yes. This seems I don't know. It seems uncharacteristic of Gwen to just
Does it?
ah maybe we don't know Gwen as well as we thought we did.
Look, I don't care who Vince decides to fuck, it's her business. But if it's going to impact the rest of us, then it's a problem.
Oh, we that I 100% agree on, and I'm very much against poisoning any sort of fae that
Yeah,
that haven't done anything obvious to deserve it.
exactly. These fairies, they seemed like assholes, yeah, but did they deserve to die?
My
Maybe
problem
not.
is that it was done behind our back. Whether it was morally right at this point, whether it was justified decision or not, I would prefer to know.
Well, yes, it would have been prudent for Gwen to let us know exactly what was going on, so we'd be a bit more aware of the situation. However, how much of how, as they were being assholes, like little assholes or
They
big.
had ousted a fairy from her home, and we were going to convince them to leave.
Which wasn't going well, in fairness.
No, it
we
wasn't
were
going
not
well.
successful.
I am not a charismatic person.
We?
I know, I won't be hurt. I won't be hurt.
Oh, I know.
But-
That's why I agreed.
But it was not going well. Yeah, Justine is right. And Gwyn obviously saw it as solving the problem. But the repercussions are now we probably can't go into the forest.
Although we did go there last night.
Yeah, well, they may not have died yet.
We can try and risk and go there again.
We have no choice at this point if we need to drag
Absolutely.
them from, I don't know.
Maybe, it's a horrible thing to say, but maybe they did die and no one cared because they were only new themselves. Maybe we can actually get away with that, which is probably wishful thinking and extremely unlikely, but we were there last night.
It's true. Well, we'll know soon enough, won't we?
Absolument.
You are safe, so Aminata.
Oh, wait. Uh, it was just very tense couple of days dealing with diplomats, and then I got to see some of my family for a little bit. But yeah, it was pretty much go ever since I left.
Did you murder any fairies with poison flame?
No, I did not, but
No judgment, just.
air some dirty laundry, which was quite satisfying on my part. So there was that.
My sister, she lives for this.
The dirty laundry airing? Oh,
Oh, gossip, always. She knows everything that is going on, always. You can't do anything without her finding out.
she'd make a very good politician.
She has far too many children. But yeah.
So do politicians.
Mm.
So, you continue on towards Tronquay, or towards the forest, all right? And you've been traveling for, I don't know, maybe an hour and 15 minutes when you see a figure up ahead of you coming in your direction from the forest. And after a minute or so, they get close enough that you do clearly recognize it is your friend Gwynn heading in your direction.
Ah, the prodigal daughter has returned.
Oh, thank fuck you are alive.
Aminata, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're okay.
And we are glad that you're okay.
Oh, I'm great. Yeah, I'm great actually.
Sylvia is glaring at you right now.
Yes, I made a friend, but I'll tell you all about that later. I had something really important to say. Oh.
Before, Justine is kind of slightly behind, because her perception of Gwyn, I'd say, completely switched upside down within the past 48 hours since her poison something, and she doesn't quite know what to think of Gwyn. I think she doesn't quite believe that it's actually Gwyn. She'll be like very suspicious, but trying not to show that she's suspicious. But
when I see
it's all on her face, I'd say.
When I see Justine in the background, I go, "Oh, I remember what it was," and just brush past everyone and go up to Justine and say, "I met the most amazing person in the woods. You wouldn't believe it. I've so much to tell you."
Would just be like,
and I'll just I'm not reading this at all, and I'll take your hand and say, I think I found your brother. Yeah.
Justine is just not going to say, her face, I would say, changes completely. She would just be like, are you fucking serious? She's not going to say that, but her face is like, what?
Yeah, I'm 99.9% sure that this person I met in my friend's house was your brother. It's such a small world.
Wait. My brother?
Yeah, here all along. He's fine.
Why do you think he was my brother?
Well, we were talking over breakfast. It was so nice. But one thing led to another, and he was talking about his family, and it just dawned on me. And he gave me this, and I'll reach down and take the pocket watch out of my sock where I had been keeping it safely, and hand it to you and say, yeah, he gave me this to give to you.
You immediately recognize it, Justine. This is a watch that your brother was given as a birthday present from his father, and it has an engraving on the inside, and you're like, this is my brother's watch. I know this watch.
Yeah. So Justine is just going to look absolutely like it was fear with a surprise at Gwyn. I think she's just going to take the watch and just sit on the side of the road. I know it's snow. I know it's February, but she would just be like,
I'll just follow you.
What is going on?
It's him, right? I'm pretty sure it's him.
That is my brother's watch, yes.
I
And
wasn't sure at the time. I thought it could be some sort of trick or a magic or something. So I didn't tell him about you. I didn't tell him you were here, but he's in there. He's so close.
That
And
was
he's
smart, Finn, not to say anything at the time.
yeah, you never know in the forest. But he's fine. He's with my new friend.
um, okay,
He's
so he
fine
was
with
he
your
happy?
friend.
Did he seem comfortable? Did he seem like he was there of his own free will?
Oh, so comfortable. The house is just so cozy and inviting and warm. I mean, I was happy there. Of course, he's happy. It's
We saw.
oh,
Well, Justine saw, but you know.
Yeah.
Yasin saw a lot more than just the house.
I just elbow
Um,
her.
Justine
So
is
you
just
saw
going
the
to like
house.
kind of sit with like her head buried in her hands because she kind of almost immediately has this picture in her head of her brother doing
With-
the same things. And we thought, we'd be like, oh my god.
oh my god!
And Gwyn just thinks you're upset, so I'll put my arm around you and go, "No, it's okay. He's really happy."
Oh, she is upset because she's like,
I'm an
sorry, folks. Sorry to interrupt. Justine, I need an awareness roll, please.
Oh my god.
do I add any
I
any
don't.
modifiers to that?
I don't think you have keen smell.
No, I don't.
Oh,
Means nothing.
Somebody had a busy night and didn't have a shower.
oh, you
It's
must
the 19th century. We all stink.
You must be.
Sorry, Justine. What did you roll?
15.
Okay, it's not. You don't notice anything significant. Okay, so we'll continue with what you were all saying. So, Gwyn, you put your arm around Justine, thinking that she's really
fine.
upset. As Justine has this flash of emotion over her eyes as she pictures her brother doing to Melisende what you were doing to Melisende last night.
No, don't be
Uh,
upset. He's comfortable. It's a beautiful house. He's in great company.
He's
I mean, he
comfortable.
wasn't happy I was there, you know. But anyway, that's not important. But
If
he's
he's
so
happy,
close.
if he's comfortable, why didn't he let me know? We would be so happy for him. We would be delighted to know that he's comfortable, that he's safe, that he's
Melisande,
alive.
she's such a great host. You know, I'm
Um,
sure he was going to.
That doesn't
Amanada
make any sense.
Amanada?
is going to crouch down beside Justine and kind of like cup her ears while looking at Gwen, and the usually cheerful disposition kind of drops from their face while looking right at Gwen and saying, "She saw you with your beautiful elven lady and what you were doing with that lady. So you can only imagine what she's imagining has been happening to her brother."
What? It's perfectly natural. It might be
Oh.
good for her.
I
Well,
don't
maybe
think
not
it's good
with
for
her brother.
anyone to see a brother like that.
No, it
True.
is.
I
It is a very
certainly
But she
would-
didn't see him. She saw me. But
but
it
it's
might be good for her.
imagination. It's very distressing.
For Christine, it's not even the fact itself, it's just everything about the situation is just so off that
But
she
he's
can't
in
process
such-
it. Because like
he's
her
in
brother had like girls before. He was like, you know, he's a young, handsome man. He was popular around girls and stuff. But it's just the fact itself that there is clearly something off, but she can't quite put her finger in it.
Look-
Especially the fact that her brother didn't let them know that he was
Then
comfortable and safe and happy.
It is strange for him not to write to his family, yeah?
Oui.
Not
Very strange.
that I am want to talk about that, but anyway, you know, in these situations there is no strife or anything else. If he is happy, surely he would want his family to know.
Honestly, that's what I'd expect from what I've heard of their relationship. They were very close, very close. The fact that he's not even writing to say, Hello, I'm safe. Is very, very bizarre. I believe he might be,
I think he's
um,
just
as
busy.
as they like to say, what
Busy
is
with
it?
what?
Digmatized.
Mm.
Do you
Sylvia
know?
is gonna using the lesser telepathy cantrip. Sylvia is gonna say to Aminata, "This is sus as fuck." Uh,
And Justine is going to say, like, busy with what? He wrote when he was in the army, kind of looking at Sylvia.
yeah, it is something that all we all do. You know, you rewrite.
Surely he's not more busy than there.
Well, he was
No,
tending to the house and he's in such great company. I mean, I think he was just busy and distracted, and I'm sure he would have written eventually.
Tending to
hmm.
the house.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of you, Justine, it might be best to just leave this for the time being. We know where he is. He seems to be quite safe. We are not sure about his mental faculties at the moment.
Oh god.
Let's not. It might not even be that bad. She might just be the greatest lover that ever walked the planet of the Earth, and hence why he's been absorbed into. Well, um, that's all I can say. I don't think going round and round about this is going to do you much good.
But the bottom line, we know where your brother is. This is
We
good.
we have proof he's alive. However, it it's important for us to get him away from her, just so we can hear from him for ourselves.
I just want to talk to him. I
Oh,
just want to know
he.
what happened.
Well,
If he's
I
happy,
may.
if he doesn't want to return home, that's fine. I just want to know that it's him, that he's alive, that he's well. I want to ask him why he never wrote a word. I want to ask him why he wanted us to think that he was dead. That's it. Just want to talk to him.
Unfortunately, it has been known that some soldiers will just abscond and, for the sake of, I don't know, if effectively fake their deaths and start new
Well,
families.
it's that's not always how these things go. Each
I
situation is very different.
Very true. That's why I said some, not all, some. And I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe he was traumatized and this was a safe, warm, and welcoming environment based on the description we've heard. We don't know what happened, but I think the safest bet would be to remove him from said environment and see if he still says the same.
You see, it's just she needs time to process. She just doesn't
I'm
know
sure
what to do.
he's fine. I mean, he's with the best possible company you can imagine. Melisende is an elf. Can you believe it? She's a
We
real
know.
elf. A real elf. And I was there with her, and it just, it's everything I ever wanted. Honestly, I can't believe it. She's so powerful. I could just feel it emanating off her. I've never felt anything like it in my life.
We,
Can
we,
can Amanada do a bit of an insight check to see if this kind of praise is coming from a place of just like admiration or power hunger?
Yeah, you can. I'm just looking at your character sheet to see if we have anything. You have conversationist, not behaviorist. So you got a choice here. You can use actually. The modifiers are pretty much the same. You're using either charm or awareness to try and get an insight into Gwynn's kind of body language, her tone, or mannerisms. Okay.
Hmm.
If you had the behaviorist skill, that would certainly help you with this, but you
Yeah.
you don't. You have a conversationist.
Okay, cool. I will. Hey, first roll of the night, not 20.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So
so
that's like a 23 total. So that's brilliant. Okay. So I tell you what you're getting from this is okay. So like you and Gwyn don't actually know each other that long. You have only been in each other's company for about 4 or 5 weeks now, I think.
Hmm.
So there is that side of it now, and you've been kind of having to come and go a little bit as well. But certainly with that nat 20 and a total of 23, you're very much getting the vibe that it's kind of weird how ardently Gwyn is describing this woman in these incredibly high state of praise. Like, it's just that how it's it's just she seems to be a bit OTT in going on about how amazing this elf is. Especially actually because like she's an elf. They are basically demigods. But she
Hmm.
hasn't been describing her in the sense of this and elves are beautiful like you would expect, and when a human sees an elf they normally would describe them as being godlike, as being beautiful, as being all powerful. But Gwyn is describing her as being an amazing person, the best person to be around, a wonderful host, and it's like basically it's almost like she's describing one of her oldest friends.
Mm.
Then, obviously, what you get up to, who you choose to fuck, it's none of my business. But you had said to me before you would do whatever it took to be with Juliet. Has she ceased to exist for you, or
No, not at all. I saw her on the way here. Juliet's
And
wonderful.
how did Juliet react, might I ask?
It was kind of a rush, honestly. I was mostly just focused on getting the watch to Justine, but I said we would meet sometime. But
But did she embrace you? Did she kiss you? What happened?
were you even interested in her anymore?
oh,
Mm.
I am, absolutely. But you have to understand, Melisende is amazing. She's an elf. I slept with an elf. I just can't. But she was so generous, so kind. We had breakfast together. It was just so wholesome. And your brother was there, and it was just such a nice time. That's really
You
hard to
did
top, you know?
you did say before that Faye talked to girls any day.
True, true. Fae girls top pretty much everything any day. So, you know.
You know, we were suspecting Justine or Juliet male, so but
Well,
but
I still think Juliet is a werewolf. Um,
yeah.
I
Well, I've tried to ask her. I know you weren't here, Aminata. I tried, and I've tried, and I've tried, and she's not forthcoming
but
at all
would
about what she is.
you tell people who, one, you don't really particularly know that well about not just your lineage, but you're also exposing your entire family, and in a small town such as this that has looked at, for example, they looked at us with quite weary eyes when we came about. Surely you'd keep that sort of information close to your chest. That is why I was asking about how Juliet reacted when you saw her, because that would also be quite an indicator of any particular skills or traits that she might have. But I think you were so infatuated with Melisande that you didn't notice. Because I'm very sure if you did engage in extracurricular activities, Juliet would have smelt it.
Possibly. I
um,
don't know. I don't know what she is.
Gwyn, can you give me an intellect roll, please?
Yes. Oh. That is a 5.
Okay.
The sky is blue.
Gwyn's mind
That's
is
perfect.
elsewhere.
Yes, Gwyn's mind is singularly focused elsewhere.
Yes.
So
Uh,
at this point, do you start turning around and walking back to Chevia?
yeah.
Uh,
Surely.
I will tell you all about my night.
That's okay. I
in
don't want to
detail.
fucking
How,
know.
how much detail does Gwynn go into regarding her night?
Most of it.
How much detail do the rest of you let Gwynn go into before you tell her it's okay, we don't want to know?
Sylvia doesn't fucking want to know.
I will kind of say, maybe we could talk about it later, away from the other, because I want to know. I want to know. I want to know.
An elf. I'm an
Primarily.
elf.
Well, listen, I've
You
been
said
around
you
elves for most of my life, so yeah, no, I'll just to spare Justine, Sylvia, I'll be like, maybe we can have a little drink and talk about it later.
Okay.
Justine
I'll
doesn't
tell you
care anymore. She wants to know all about her brother.
Okay, so
Okay,
well, actually, hold on.
Speaking of,
Do you start asking Gwynn more about yeah?
No, I think not yet. I think
Okay.
Justine needs time to process and kind of like come to terms with
Cool. Yeah.
everything.
speaking of drinks, have you ever talked about the wine?
What about it?
Ah, yes, the poison wine.
Yeah, I have to ask Finn. I saw you gather the herbs. Obviously, this was long before we encountered this situation. What were you going to do with the wine, with the poison?
What do you think I was going to do with
Who
the
was
poison,
your
Sylvia?
target? Who were you thinking about killing?
Oh, I always have some on hand. I was trained well, you know.
Do you seek to kill people?
No, but as my dear mother said, sometimes death is the healing that's needed for the greater good. You just never know.
Right,
Right.
Sorry, it's a nerve.
The greater good.
I can't not do that. Sorry, but
Listen, we were failing astronomically being diplomatic with these fairies.
yeah, except, and I understand what you were saying, except you made a decision without including the rest of us, and now we have to also bear the consequences of that decision. We cannot go into the forest. I cannot gather herbs because you decided.
Weren't you
that
just
were
in the
going to-
forest? Did you not say you were at the cottage last night?
Yeah, but it's the next night. It hasn't. Word may not have spread.
Maybe.
You remember, Dimode said that we should not go into the forest. And she's
Listen,
probably right. And if the lady finds out about this, we may have an elf who is angry with us.
well, we've one elf who's not angry with us, if that counts for anything. But listen, we killed an ogre previously. Who knows
I
if
think
that
an
was on
elf
her
is
side?
different.
An elf is very different, and Gwen, you also have to consider the possibility that you are a novelty for this elf.
Yeah, we are mortals.
As highly as you think of them, she very easily could think of you as a trinket to be collected, as she did with John.
I doubt that she's collecting anyone. It's not like the door was locked, and we all had a great time. But back to the poison, Sylvia. Look, I did what I had to do to get results. They might not have been your methods. They might not have been the soldiery way, but that's just not how I was raised.
I don't care about the soldiery way, okay? I didn't join the army because I wanted to. I joined the army because I had nowhere else to go. So don't presume that I enjoy or expect discipline and any of that nonsense. But the simple fact is we are traveling as a group, and if one of us does something, it does affect the rest of us.
I take your point. I understand that this may have repercussions, but killing them in a fight would presumably have the same.
No, I don't think so, because in a fight, you are one on one, you are looking at them. This was something else.
You're talking about honor, and that's not my world. Listen, I did it my way because your way was failing, and next time we'll do it your way, okay? I promise.
Well, I'm not saying that diplomacy is the way forward. I'm just. We would have liked to have known that you were intending to do this. Likewise, last night when you decided to run off with this beautiful woman, we did not. You did not include us in your decision.
True. I mean, I did what I had to do, and sometimes there's not enough time to talk. I had the bottle on me. It seemed like the only solution before we fought, so I did what needed to be done. Same with Melisende. She was there in front of us, and I made my decision.
Justina's going to kind of raise her head and step forward a little bit and be like, well, I understand the situation with Melisende, but the wine, you had it well before we started negotiating, so at least you could have told us that you had it.
I mean, I don't announce every aspect of my inventory to the group, but I can in future if that makes us all happy. Sylvia saw me collecting the herbs. She saw me make the poison. She saw me distill it into the wine. I need to tell you all my magical actions from now on?
No, that is not what should have happened. However, I also understand that a little heads up would be appreciated next time. Is that fair to everybody?
I think that's fair. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just as you're talking, you hear a cawing noise up ahead. And looking up, you see a raven circling over, around, coming back, circling, and landing on the road in front of you all.
Ah, hello again.
Ah, it's yourselves. I've been looking for you.
Well, how is your mistress?
And then when you say kind of and you can clearly see this is the raven that you've met a few times now, the one that works for Moraine, the Lady of the Forest, and he kind of puffs up his chest and makes himself look very big and official. Says, "I come bearing a message from Moraine Le Fay, Lady of the Forest. She cordially invites you all for a meal in her palace this evening for 7 o'clock. Transportation will be arranged outside La Petite Auberge, leaving at 6 if you would acquiesce to her request."
Absolutely. Would be delighted. I mean, group, would we be delighted?
I do have a question before we just agree. Is this like, is there anything in particular that will be discussed? Like, what might we be going into? Are we in trouble? Or it seems quite odd that we be extended an invitation, no?
I'm a raven. She tells me nothing.
I was hoping you would not say that.
I feel like even if we say no,
if we say no,
we can't say no.
We can't say no, so we may as well be enthusiastic about it.
So,
you're adding to your collection, Gwynn.
Are you acquiescing to her request?
We are acquiescing to the request.
We are.
Monsieur.
Lovely. So, there'll be a carriage at 6.
Excellent.
Merci.
Right.
Extend our gratitude to your mistress.
Of course.
Yes.
Toodaloo. And he hops, skip, flaps his wings up into the air and flies back in the direction of the forest. And I think this is a lovely place. We're going to pause in our story.
So just before that happens, Gwynn or Sylvia is going to look at Gwynn and just be like, repercussions. And she's just going to turn on her heel and walk off.
Well,
I can't wait. Sounds delicious.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
going to pause in our story. We'll be back in about 5 or so minutes, taking a quick break, and we'll talk to you all soon, folks.
Oh, you!
Oh my
Um,
Okay, folks, and we are back. When last we left our heroes, the party had reunited. There were words, there were opinions exchanged, and there was agreements of sort. And the party suddenly found themselves facing somebody they've met before, a talking raven, a messenger of Moraine Le Fay, the so-called Lady of the Forest. The party has been invited to a meal this evening in her palace, transportation being arranged at 6 o'clock. So the party is now going to start making their way back to Cherville. Gwyn, in the intermission, you did say you wanted to do something. Was that a joke, or do you seriously want to try and? I think you're muted.
Yeah, no, for real. I actually do need to scout some farms for some black hen feathers, for no reason.
Okay.
Nice reasons, all fine. Nothing scary
Okay,
or
so
dangerous.
do you explain that to the rest of the group?
Yes.
And what do you all think of this?
Okay.
All things
Sylvia,
considered,
may I have your permission to go hunting for black hen feathers?
Oh,
I'm
look, you do
telling
not
you what
need-
I'm doing.
Okay,
Aren't I very good? See, I'm learning.
Go get your feathers. But if you're going to poison anybody, if you want to know about it first, that's all.
Fair.
fair.
This may cause necrotic damage to people, but listen, I'll tell you in advance. It's fine.
What?
Sharing
Fine.
is
It's
caring.
fine. It's fine. This is
We're
fine.
fine.
Everything is fine.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we're dealing with a murder hobo here.
A little bit.
Gwyn is in her villain arc for sure.
I will be locking my door when I go to sleep.
You share the room with you. You literally share a bed.
I never said Gwen would be in the room.
Okay, so serious question. How are you going to go about doing this? Are you going to randomly sneak onto farms, go into the chicken
much.
coops, and
See if there's a black one. Yeah. I mean, like, everyone else can go on. Like, I'll, kind of dart in and out and
does
follow
anybody
along.
want to help the witch with
Yes.
this?
I will help the witch.
Okay.
It's
You,
probably best
Aminata.
if I do it, 'cause I'm
I
the
think
fastest.
considering nothing good ever happened from Witch just wandering off on her own. I think we all should stay and help the witch the way we can. Like,
Okay.
I need to be supervised at all times.
I will get
Exactly,
those
yeah.
thin leashes.
No, yeah,
No.
you're not wrong, okay? Right. So yeah, you're continuing on until you see until you see a farm, okay, up ahead. You're probably about 30 minutes from Cherville, maybe 40 minutes, because you've been walking back as you'd been having the conversation, okay? So, right. So how is this going to work?
I have stone stealth. Would that work on like an open terrain covered in snow? I assume it's like an open terrain.
Yeah.
I have stealth and I also have keen eyes.
Yeah.
So I could probably take a better look, and I'm also one of the fastest. So if I do see,
You are certainly
Maybe you can go and get the.
Yeah, no, you're
feather.
certainly the stealthiest and amongst the fastest in the party. Stone stealth, it might help a little bit. So the thing with stone stealth is it allows you to move over rocky, muddy terrain without leaving tracks. So it doesn't hide you as you're moving. It just makes it incredibly difficult for you to be tracked or followed. Okay, so unfortunately.
Well, I'd say I cast it anyways on whoever is going to go for the feather, so that there are no like suspicious traces.
That would certainly help. So, Aminata, do you want to just you're going to go on, sneak in, and go to the chicken coop and see if you find, basically.
Can Anki do that?
And Canaglan could totally. As long as he's within 100 meters of you, you can see through his senses. You could also just give him a command. Now, you're not sure what would happen if you said, go get some black feathers. That's the only thing I will say. He might
Fair.
kill the animal, you know, and get them for you that way. But you could certainly send him to go into the chicken coop, scout, come back, and show you what he saw. So if he saw a black chicken or rooster, he could then show you that he saw it. You could do that. And then maybe Aminata could sneak in and try and retrieve the items.
Gwynn, does this feather have to have fallen out naturally, or can it be plucked?
It can be plucked or something you find on the ground. Either is fine.
Plucked would be better, but, you know.
Yeah.
Well, like, you don't need to kill the animal. You could just, like, pluck some feathers from it. It doesn't need to, like, yeah. You don't need to skin it, alright? But it does need to be black. That's the important thing. And Gwynn, you do make it clear. They must be black feathers. Now,
Must
of course,
be jet black.
the thing is, black hens are kind of hard to find because of superstition. People often would kill them because of their associations with witchcraft and devil worship and the like. So they are a bit rarer as a result. So, Justine, you explain what's happening and you send Anki off towards the chicken coop, yeah? Okay. I don't know what we'll say. Okay, Gwynn. I'll keep this simple. I'm not going to ask you to roll percentile dice. Just roll a d20.
Okay. That is a 19.
Okay, right. You're very lucky. I was giving you a 15% chance of success.
Oh, okay.
Which basically would have meant, technically, that's like an 18 or 19. So you're
Yeah.
very lucky. You rolled a 19. Okay.
Technically, we're still very close to the forest, so it makes sense. The people who live in this area, they might be less superstitious and less afraid of like witchcraft, fairies.
I like
be-
the way you think.
To be honest with you, the bigger impact would be the fact that this is the 19th century, so we are in kind of post-Enlightenment period, and the Enlightenment was kind of a funny one in that in Fey Earth, in this world, historically during the Enlightenment period, the philosophers of the Enlightenment basically were trying to eradicate the so-called peasant superstitions. So much of the folklore and folk beliefs associated with witchcraft and fairies, they were like, this is superstitious nonsense, it's unscientific. Now, obviously, in Fey Earth, you can't say belief in fairies is superstitious nonsense because the fairies are real. But there has been this weird academic disconnect between what these bourgeoisie, highfalutin philosophers think and what people actually think. So it's really been more the increased secularization has stopped people being so quickly to say, oh, it's a black rooster, kill it, it's a witch. Because witches are real. Like, one of your members is a witch, so, you know. But anyway, so Anki flies off. He's gone for a couple of minutes. I'm getting that weird staticky feedback again.
Yeah.
Oh. Tendai, can you just mute your mic for the moment, see if that helps?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. Anki goes flying off. He's gone for a couple of minutes because he's trying to find the chicken coop. And then he does come back to you after about 5 or 6 minutes. He's fine. Nothing went wrong. And he relays an image to you of what he saw, which was this chicken coop. And he went down towards the kind of a window area looking in. And he did see a very plump, very healthy looking black rooster who looked to be half asleep. So not a hen, a rooster. But you're like, okay, no, there actually is a black rooster in that chicken coop.
Question for the narrator: will that do?
Oh yeah, we don't
grand.
like when we say hen, it doesn't actually have to be a female hen. A hen or rooster will do the job.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that will do.
The only difference is that roosters can be kind of evil. So
Rough. Yeah.
Whoever's going to get them feathers.
Uh-oh.
Just be thankful that the spell doesn't require the feathers of a black swan.
Black goose.
Oh
A
god, a
black
black
goose.
goose. That would be
Oh, man.
terrifying.
Someone would lose a finger.
That one I leave to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, Aminata, are you gonna go in?
Yep.
So, Justine, you cast Stone Stealth on Aminata first of all, yeah?
Mhm.
Cool. Alright, so, right. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so,
Can I?
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, quick
Yeah.
question. Can I lend someone any of my witch's amulets temporarily, or do they just apply to me?
No, you can literally go, here, Aminata, take this.
Oh, okay. I will give
You're gonna have to take some
Aminata.
poison and poison that bastard.
Just don't eat anything I give you, okay? Otherwise, it should be fine. I'll give Aminata my Amulet of Fortune for while she goes in there.
Yeah.
So it means that you can re-roll an ability test. So if something goes horribly wrong, you have a chance to re-roll.
So what she gives you is a little charm, a little amulet that's made from a rabbit's foot.
But I will need it back because I only have the one.
Yeah, so it's like it is an actual rabbit's foot charm. You've seen these so many times. They're a very common good luck charm that she gives to you and explains that it will give you good luck. Mechanically, you can re-roll up to twice, and you add an additional +1 to your roll up to 4 times.
Good luck.
On top of the re-roll, okay? So, Aminata, you go in. You are stealthing. Can I get a stealth roll off you, okay?
Absolutely.
So that is Dex plus stealth.
Okay, so with my stealth skill, I can add +4
Yep.
to
The
my
2.
attack. So that is a 19, and my own dex is a 2. That would be 21. Can I add quick reflexes or acrobatics?
No, but you are adding a +4 bonus from Justine's spell on top of that.
Awesome.
Nice.
So that would be
25. Is
25.
it? Yeah, okay. So you are sneaking along, stealthy. And you guys notice that where she's walking on like any sort of dirty kind of rough earth sections, she's not leaving any sort of a track that you would expect. You're not sure if it's Justine's magic or just the fact that Aminat is really sneaky. Okay? So she kind of disappears off around towards the buildings. And you do see the chicken coop, and you can hear a couple of chickens cawing, or not cawing, squawking. You do hear a sound of a little bit of movement, and you hear a voice of somebody, and it looks like they're talking to either an animal or another person. So they're a little bit close to you, but they're not up on top of you just right now. Okay. So getting to the chicken coop, you open up the door, and looking inside, you can see there are 7 hens, and in the back a really fat, really big rooster that is asleep.
Does it sound like the voice is coming towards me?
You're not sure. Like it was like somebody shouting off, like get off from there, like kind of thing. But it wasn't a conversation, so it's hard to know.
How deep is the coop?
Oh, it's like maybe 2.5 meters deep. It's not big.
Okay, cool. On that note, I will use my movement to just like dash in. The poor thing. Oh my God. I'm gonna grab a couple.
Yeah, clump and.
Yeah, and
I
I'll
need
keep
a couple, yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out to see if there's any like stray ones on the floor as well on my way out.
Okay, so, just give me a dex roll.
Just a flat dex roll.
Yeah.
No modifiers. Can I? Okay. So that is an 18.
Yeah, this was a very low target number. Okay. Gwyn, roll me 1d6.
Ooh, D6. Okay. Oh, that is a 1.
Okay. So, Aminati, you managed to like grab like about 3 or 4 feathers and yank them off as the rooster suddenly squawks and rears up as you wake it, sees you, and goes to peck at you. Oh my god. I rolled a 17.
No.
Sylvia will heal you.
You take 2 points of damage as it like snacks beat with its like vicious little beak. Give me an awareness roll as well, though, will you? And you can add your keen eyes.
15.
+1 is 16, and you
Oh,
see
15,
it.
yes.
The +1 16 from Gwynn's bonus. You see a couple more feathers. You group them up again, so you get about another like 4. They're a bit more dirty. So you've got like 7 feathers now as you turn and run. The rooster chases you.
I am booking it. Chickens. I've got horror stories with chickens, so I am booking it.
Well, at least it's not. At least it wasn't a swan or a goose, so you're fine.
So you guys see Aminata racing towards you all, and about 2 meters behind her is this angry kaiju black rooster.
He's a chunky boy.
Cawing, wings flapping, and you do hear the sounds of "Oh, what the hell!" as you hear the sound of a farmer's voice as you go sprinting. Anybody want to do anything?
Can I just lightly zap
No.
the ground near the chicken?
You
I
can
mean the rooster.
give me a
Just to
magic.
scare it.
Give me a magic roll.
Okay. I need to check what my new magic is.
I believe it's still 4.
Oh, it's a 4. I didn't. Yeah, of course.
Your charm.
I mean, if anything, Aminata doesn't leave any traces, so we can always bullshit and be like,
Oh,
"We
yeah.
are mad
We
at
weren't there.
Yeah,
Nobody's there.
just escape."
One,
Like,
So that's a 14 altogether.
Was that? Oh, you get an additional +1 because you have the talent in the sphere of fire.
Ooh, 15.
Okay, yeah. So you just send a little dart of your firebolt in front of the rooster, manage not hitting it, and it kind of skulks and leaps back. And Aminata, you get to the wall, leaping over, as you all see a farmer come running out.
Leg it.
What do you do? Are you lagging, or are you just going to duck under the wall?
Oh, stuck. Like I don't know.
No, it's. Ooh, you see, if he goes and looks over the wall, he's gonna see all of us just like.
He's not coming near you. He just saw the rooster.
Okay,
He's running over to the rooster.
I probably say let's duck, but also duck walk.
Yeah.
Well,
So
under
yous
the
are all
wall.
Justine's like, "What
It's
the
like
fuck are
holding
we all
bundles
doing?
of dress
What?"
fabric, just kind of.
So yous are all there ducking along. Mina is still there with you, halberd tucked under her arm, and she's her all crawling along. And you see him goes like, "What the hell is on the? What happened to the fight? Like what?" And this guy is very confused. But you sneak off, and you appear to have gotten away. So.
Yay!
So sorry to be a pain, Tana. I'll ask you to mute that mic again. We're getting the static.
Sorry.
Apologies. No, it's okay. So yeah, you managed to do it. Aminata hands Gwyn a cluster of 7 black feathers. These will be more than enough for your spell. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And you all make your way back to Cherville. You've got takes about another 35, maybe 40 minutes, and you are back in the town. Okay. So it's like getting close to. It's about lunchtime now. It's probably about 1:30 at this stage. The market is up. You know, it's busy. It's active. Okay. But Justine, you do have to do your arcane research.
Yes.
Especially before that dinner was an elf.
Yes.
Technically, like, my character hasn't leveled up because I haven't done arcane research.
Technically, yes. So this is you transcribing your spells and so forth. So actually, I suppose this would be the same thing. Gwyn and Justine, you go upstairs into the inn. Justine, you're in one corner of the room doing your sorcerer's arcane research with your
Kind of giving Gwyn weird looks.
And Gwyn, you're over on the other side of the bedroom, and you are
making my witch's ladder.
You are making your witch's ladder. So it is basically the witch's ladder is made is it's a length of rope. It's about 2-ish meters long, not very heavy rope, just thin-ish rope, and it takes you like a good I think 2 hours nearly to make this. slowly chanting, not chanting, like saying your arcane words, channeling your magic into it as you're like tying knots in it. And each time you tie a knot, you have one of the feathers, the stalk of one of the feathers in the knot. So when you pull it tight, the feather is affixed at that point and magically fused. While Justine, you do spend a bit longer. For you, it's an hour for your first level spell, 2 hours for your second level spell, as you're working away on your research as well. Okay. So,
While that's happening, is it too soon to have a fucking drink?
absolutely not.
Oh, man.
Mina is going off to confession. And next week, please God, if Christine as well is back with us, we will be doing a retcon to roleplay that scene. Okay.
Amazing.
So Nina's like puts Albert upstairs, gives Gwynn a look, and then still with her rosary beads in hand, heads off to the church in the hopes of finding Pierre Choisy so that she can go to confession. So Aminata, are you having a drink with Sylvia?
Sylvia's just mad as hell.
Yeah. Okay. So Justine, I need a magic roll, please.
Oh, I can't wait. I love these. You guys don't even know. I'm so excited.
2.
Yay! Chaos.
Wow. Oh wow.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Okay. We'll do the research, the roll for your second one. By the way, the target number was 16.
Oh no.
Oh, Jesus.
So right. Can I have your second roll? This is for your second level spell. The target number is 17.
19.
Okay. So we'll say that you start off with a more difficult second level spell, and you're doing your research as you're writing your notes into your book of shadows, and you finish it all. You're like, okay, I got it. Okay, whew, that was tough. But after 2 hours, you have the spell transcribed into your book of shadows. You now are confident. You know it. It's like ingrained in your brain. And okay, I'm gonna do the easier spell now. But you're kind of tired, and you're getting distracted by Gwynn. And you're like, just as you're getting into it,
Just remembering everything.
yeah, and she's just finishing creating this weird thing that she needs for her witch spell, because her magic is so different to yours. And you're like, you have a mishap. I need you to roll a d20 for me 3 times.
Oh no.
7.
Is that a good? Is that good? I don't know.
Second roll.
1.
Oh no, that's
It's permanent.
Can I have?
And 19.
Okay, whoa, hold on. This is serious. So, oh shit. So with the 7, you had this happen to you before. Your eyes turn white and become photosensitive for the next 24 hours. You will suffer a -1 penalty to all ability checks in normal or stronger daylight, but you gain dark vision to 20 meters for 24 hours.
That is probably handy considering where we're
Yeah,
going.
that's not
Oh.
the word.
Oh
That's not
no! Oh no! The 19. The sorcerer loses the ability to speak in a normal fashion. Every time they talk, their sounds are in an unnatural language that is incomprehensible. If they try to communicate by writing, the script appears in the form of magical glyphs. The sorcerer can still perfectly understand anyone speaking in a language they understand, but are unable to communicate through magical or non-magical means for 24 hours.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
And now we have a roll on the permanent magical mishaps effect table for that natural
I
1
mean,
euro.
that was a serious emotional damage, okay?
Yeah, it was.
So
Yeah.
I need
I hope you're happy, Gwynn.
I need one last roll of a d20, Polina.
Oh god.
This is permanent.
6.
Oh, interesting.
Petrochromia.
Yes. one of the sorcerer's eyes turns a different color to what it is.
Okay.
The color
not too
is
bad.
within the normal color range for your ancestry, so it's still a normal color for a human, but it's different. So I think you said that Justine had like hazily greeny eyes, was it?
I think she had grey eyes.
Oh, grey. Sorry, it was grey. So tell me which eye changes, left or right, and what color does it change to?
I'd say right eye changes into like green.
So, however, this is the thing, you don't spot that change because your eyes have gone completely
Yeah.
white because of the temporary effect of photosensitivity.
Do I know that I got any like permanent effects though?
You felt something happen to your eyes, but you're not sure what it is because you're experiencing this mishap that you did have before of the extreme photosensitivity.
And I just kind of go like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. you pull the curtains over, Gwyn.
Gwyn just turns around. Are you okay?
No.
Oh, let me see.
You see
what
her
happened.
eyes. You saw this before.
No. Okay. Okay, this is fine. We can.
But
cope
also
with
like
this.
you can't understand anything I'm saying.
That's the thing, actually.
Oh, God.
You don't understand anything when she speaks.
What does it sound like? Just
it's weird. It sounds completely incomprehensible. You tell me, Justine, what do you think it would sound like?
I think I kind of have the idea that it might sound like Dutch to someone who doesn't speak Dutch, and like a weird kind of alien version of Dutch to someone who does speak Dutch.
Well, I think then for the rest of this game, if you want, every time you want to speak, you can speak in Dutch. Because, you know, we don't know what you're saying.
Oh no. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad.
The effects are for
Yeah.
24 hours. I will say that you did learn your spells. Your spells are learned and they're into your Book of Shadows. That's the thing about the magical mishaps for the sorcerer profession. Even though the permanent changes are minor, mostly cosmetic changes, this is just for fun and brevity, and you still always learn the spell even when there's a mishap.
I have a question.
A question about the language. Do I notice like I speak?
You can hear it too. You're like, oh crap, this is like, oh crap. Oh, we are getting a raid. Hi guys. Amanada?
I have a question. So, would Justine still be able to cast spells even though she's not able to?
Yes, you are, and that's the weird thing. You can still cast spells even though you're sounding garbled. So yeah, so even though you have this magical mishap, your magic is still working. It's just nobody can understand you.
Can my dragon understand me? Can I give him commands?
You can. I will say that you can like communicate with him telepathically. Oh, actually, now that I think of it, no, I'm going to say that for the familiar, you still can communicate.
Because you said like magical and non-magical way, which means I can't send.
You can't use
that.
lesser. Yeah, you couldn't. I'm going to say that because you have such a deep connection with Ancalagon, that you can still communicate with your familiar kind of telepathically. But you couldn't use your lesser telepathy cantrip to communicate with anybody, unfortunately. So yeah. Because otherwise, what's the fun of that, you know?
Oh no. So I'll just sit Justine down on the bed and go, it's okay. Because I don't know if you can understand me. It's okay. We're going to fix this. And then I just run out and run and get Sylvia. I like run down into the bar. Sylvia. And I find her drinking stoically in a corner, of course. And just like grab her by the wrist and say, you need to come up now. It's Justine again.
What's wrong?
Oh, okay.
Just kind of pull you up the stairs.
Is she hurt?
I have no idea. I can't
Okay.
understand her. I don't know if she can understand me. Something went wrong with one of her spells.
Okay. This is a fun thing to happen before dinner with the elf. Let's go.
So you guys race upstairs and you see Justine. You're sitting on the bed still, Justine?
Yep.
And you can see that she's pulled the curtains closed, so it's quite dim in the room.
Okay.
And as you get in close, you can see her eyes are completely wide again, as if there's only sclera and there's no iris or pupil. You saw this before, and you remember that
Yeah.
she'd become photosensitive.
Okay, well,
No, it's
this
not
is
just
not the
that.
first thing, and I can't fix her eyes. I'm sorry.
No, I know it's not just that. That seems to be a weird sorcerer thing. It's I don't know how to get her to speak. Justine, speak.
Ik kan wel spreken.
Oh.
You see, what is that? What language is that even? It doesn't sound like French. Is it German?
No, that's definitely not German.
Amanada's going to
Okay.
have followed you.
Yeah.
Justine, can you say maybe tap once for yes, twice for no? Can you understand what we are saying?
Justine gonna tap once.
Okay, well
Oh.
that's
But
something.
this is the weird thing when you
That's
tap. So Justine, you tap. You look like you're tapping once, but what you guys see is her hand doing this.
Oh no. She's gone
Okay,
mad. She's
but
lost her mind.
No, but you know what? If she tapped, she understands that I said to tap, so that is.
What happens if I try to like nod or like shake my hand?
That I'm not going to say that. You can still nod, okay? All right.
Okay.
You can still
Okay. Well, she can understand us. It
Yeah.
just means that she can't communicate with us, but I trust that she can use her judgment well. Looking at Gwyn pointedly, use her judgment well if we need to do anything. So I trust. I think I'm hoping this will only be temporary. Justine seems to think it will only be temporary. So no, this is fine. We can still go to dinner. It's going to be fine. What does one fare to dinner with an elf? Does anybody
So,
know?
Amanata, you were going to say something there.
I was just going to say to Justine, are your eyes bothering you? Is the light the issue? At that, Amanada is going to ruffle through her belongings to try and find a pair of sunglasses, and I know they existed at
No, they did exist. They were really cool.
Yes, so
Victorian sunglasses were so cool.
So fucking cool. I think I actually have like a pair that are okay. So I'm going to produce a pair of sunglasses and just kind of deposit them on Justine eyes and then reply to Sylvia. Well, the finest gown that you have or the finest dress that you have would be sufficient. I have quite a few.
Or
can I have them in that, or is it sort of like communication as well?
What was that?
Can I hug him in that?
Oh yeah, of course you can.
I'm going to do that.
And I'll also offer some bonbons to the party because I would have picked a few up.
Yum. Delicious. Gwyn is just like delicious.
I think in this case we should probably start getting ready. Well, what time is it actually?
Oh, it's like 4.
We'll be picked up at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably wait a bit. Yeah, I'll probably go downstairs and get some wine for Justine.
Right. So yeah, you head down, you get her a drink of some wine, and yeah, you all like spend the next couple of hours getting ready, freshening up.
Sylvia doesn't have a second dress, really.
No, you've got like spare blouses and stuff, but you only have your culotte type clothes that you always wear.
Yeah.
I know, Gwyn, you have that lovely burgundy dress, don't you?
I have a burgundy dress. It's full length. And the bottom of it has like black brocade over it, and there's like a silk black waist kind of cinch detail, and there's 2 black ribbons up the front, burgundy silk, and kind of puffy arms with like lace about 3/4 of the way down.
So it's very fancy. You have never seen
It's very
Gwynn
fancy.
wearing anything this fancy before.
Yeah.
Justine, you have some nice dresses as well, as far as I remember. They're not ball gowns, but they are like
No.
Because,
She probably has like a kind of nicer looking dress, not necessarily fancy, or like you know, like a fancy dinner type dress, but just not like a travel clothes she's been wearing.
Exactly, because the reality is like ball gowns in the 1870s, you're talking like 6, 7, 8 meters of fabric easily in one of these dresses. You needed a massive trunk to carry them around. You know,
Justine probably just has like a kind of nicer, more like a better made version of like.
Mina has her traditional dress that you've seen her wear before. She often wears it on Sunday to mass. It's got the blouse with the decorative embroidered flowers on it, and it looks like very nice peasant farmer kind of clothing. And I don't mean that pejoratively. It's like it's very nice kind of cultural, ethnic.
Traditional.
Yeah. Yeah. And Aminata, you have whatever the most fabulous gown is that you could fit into your travel pack.
I don't have anything.
No, you
God.
don't. You don't, unfortunately. But but Sylvia, you could do your hair nice and make a flower wreath if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll do something like that.
I can help if you want. Grew up in a house with all girls. I can do your hair.
Okay.
I'll probably try to say that like I can lend some gowns to Sylvia, but no one understands me anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you physically go and get them, I'll understand.
And I will also offer some of mine as well.
But I think we did say Aminata is shorter than the rest of the party, isn't she? I thought you said that she. I know you said that she was taller than you. 10 times.
Mina is shorter than
Mina's the shortest.
Mina is the shortest. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
what are the gowns like?
Okay, so in terms of the style that Aminata would wear, there'd be some that would be more Mali inspired, which she wouldn't necessarily offer up.
Okay,
but she'd have one gown that's a very muted kind of like it's like a dark gray, borderline black. Very nice, very chic. It's got some nice brocade, similar enough to Gwen's in the sleeve length, not too long, but it's very nice. It looks very.
What's the neckline like?
The neckline would be high enough, like it would be fairly high, probably up to about here or something. But it wouldn't be heavy.
So scoops here and then scoops a bit at the back as well, but not like cleavagey.
Oh no, not cleavagey at all.
But those scoop at the front and at the back.
Yeah, so high enough, probably to about here. Nice and airy because I always wear very airy clothes because I need to not ruffle when I move. If I'm going to be doing doggy.
So Sylvia, would you take that dress?
Justine's dress are more sort of like practical, less fancy, but they're just like, some of them are not worn and they just look sort of new or worn very little.
Okay.
Does anyone have anything green?
No, it's not the color. It's not that.
It's the garment.
And I really appreciate that you are offering this to me. But okay, like where are we right now?
In your bedrooms, I guess.
Okay. I cannot wear anything that shows my back. Because well, you all know anyway. So Sylvia's just going to start unbuttoning the jacket of the jacket kind of thing of her dress, and I assume, from what I know of Victorian underwear myself, it's a kind of a chemisey yoke that they wear with the corset over it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of shrug down, and you'll see, like, on Sylvia's back, it's really horrible scarring. Like, it's burns, like, and they're bad.
Across her entire upper back.
Oh, Sylvia. I'm so
sorry.
You
know about the attack, but I can't show this.
Okay, so we can do this. we can put a nice blouse inside any one of the gowns that would bring it right up to the neckline, and
Okay.
it would disguise all your scars. How would that make you feel?
We can swap.
That's
The-
fine.
The blouse with my dress is high neck. You can wear that, and I can wear one of Aminata's or
Oh
Yastina's.
no, it's
Justine is
fine.
just going to point at her dresses because hers are not revealing at all, like most of her stuff. Because she didn't
Okay.
expect to bring any like fancy. Well, when she stayed with Paris with Aminata, I guess she did have something, but like I assume she left it there
Yeah.
because she knew she was going to like a real.
I don't want to upset anyone, but
Oh,
I know
okay.
that this can't be. I don't want this to be seen. Certainly not by an elf. And
Oh, that is totally understandable, Sylvia, and we're just trying to make you comfortable. So, if it makes sense, Gwyn, Sylvia will wear your gorgeous gown. You could
oh,
wear
it's
one of
it's
my
such
ones.
it's such a beautiful dress. I wouldn't want to.
Well, I can swap blouse because my dress is a V-neck, but there's a high blouse that goes with it, so we can just swap. You
If
can
you're
wear this
sure.
blouse, and I'll wear a different one with my dress.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for that.
So you
Sylvia,
spend
Sylvia
it's the
is
least I can do.
Sylvia's literally like, oh my god, I don't know what to say now. She's trying
yeah.
not to kind of,
Gwyn is just going to squeeze your forearm quickly and then run away and get her blouse to give you.
Right.
That's
no, I'm
hilarious,
not.
Sylvia.
I think all's forgiven right now. I'm not gonna like.
But it's quite clear to everybody that Sylvia is feeling very vulnerable and exposed, having shown you what is clearly horrific scarring of somebody who was in a devastating fire.
Like you would be kind of, are you still in pain with this? Do you need regular therapy? Sort of.
How
thing.
are you not dead from
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
level of
Okay.
scarring? Okay, we're talking extreme. I'm not trying to be graphic, especially
It's
not
just-
to chat, but that is what
I'm just saying. I just said it's
yeah,
bad. Like.
yeah,
So.
because as you all know, Sylvia was there the day that the armies were attacked by whatever it was. Some say it was magic, and some say it was dragons.
It was fucking dragons.
So,
Fuck's sake, we
You
know
spend,
it
the
was
next,
dragons.
you spend the next hour and a half doing women-y stuff, braiding your hair and whatever it is you women do, okay? And eventually they're all pretty.
Can I braid Sylvia's hair? Do I
So-
have permission, Sylvia,
we-
to braid your hair?
Okay. Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
Sylvia's kind of at this point. She's just like not used to people even being close to her anymore. It's just it's all very uncomfortable, and she's just
Okay.
trying not to kind of pull away
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she's grateful, but at the same time, like this is just really hard.
So you get ready, you wander downstairs. It's nearly 6 o'clock, and you're just kind of standing around, and you see like a few of the locals are looking at you, like, "Why are you all dressed up? Like, what the hell?" And
Oh, it must look so weird.
Marie comes, she's like, "Are you? I'm sorry, was I supposed to arrange something to?" And
No, we are going to dinner.
and as you're saying that, you hear a major commotion outside.
I believe that is our transportation.
And the door like just slams open, and a guy comes. "You're not going to believe what's out there!"
Oh, that's a carriage. Okay.
And he's looking kind of just shocked and possibly terrified.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Let's have a look.
I'm going to go out.
You all go out, and you see in front of you the most breathtaking carriage. It looks like something out of a fairy tale. White painted, immaculately carved, detailed wood with gold leaf emboss. Windows with engravings in them. Looks like they could be made of crystal. There is no driver sitting at the front.
Of course.
And leading the carriage, you cannot believe this.
A unicorn.
A pair of
Unicorns.
unicorns
Oh!
with
Oh, no.
golden bridles intact.
Oh god.
Holy!
And everybody, there's about 40, 50 people in the town square because it's 6 o'clock, are all stopped, jaws on the floor, gobsmacked, looking at this carriage being led by unicorns. As you all approach, the door magically opens. The unicorns are pawing and snorting. They're the most majestic looking creatures you have ever seen in your life. These creatures are huge. Like, these horses are like 17, 18 hands at least. They are so powerful, and their hoofs are just like clawing into the earth. They have these long horns that are like, I don't know, 70, 80 centimeters long. Look like they could pierce through, solid oak. As the door opens, as I said, and you can see inside, beautiful upholstered seats with a red brocaded detail as you alight.
Okay.
I've never seen one of them.
You all climb up into the carriage, the door closes, and the unicorns start to gallop off towards the Tronquay Forest, where you are being led to the palace of Melisende, the Lady of the Forest, the elven being who you've met before, and this is a perfect place to pause in our story.
Oh,
So, thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our story. We're here, same bad time, same bad channel, every week. We've got a bunch of things going on right now. We actually have a Kickstarter launching in 2 months' time. I'm going to put the links in the chat. A really, really fun rules light TTRPG that I've written that is suitable for all ages. It is a whimsical game with an open magic system in which you play Fae questing for treasure in the Fae realm called Fae Wanderer. If you're interested, please click to be notified of the launch. If you'd like to know more about the world of Fae Earth, jump over to our itch.io page. We have our lore primer, Explorer's Guide to Fae Earth. This is an early release core rulebook, Trouble in the North, a start adventure for levels 1 to 5. All pay what you want, free to download. Be sure to be following us on socials. We're still on the Bird app. Muskie hasn't burned it to the ground yet at Fae Earth. And beyond that, thanks. Oh yes, Justine.
I just want to add that in that game for the Kickstarter, we play tested it on Sunday, and I played a goat, and we made Phoenix take an emotional damage.
Yes, they.
Oh yeah,
it was hilarious.
You made a phoenix run home crying to
his mother.
Sounds amazing.
You weren't technically a goat. You were technically a puka in the form of a goat, but nonetheless.
Ba identified as a goat and was therefore a goat.
Yes.
Okay. Costas the satire accepts Ba as a goat.
It was a really fun game.
As kin.
You should try it out. I'm hoping to do some one shots with some other mutuals, and we'll have them up on
it's very fun
on Twitch. And I will actually be hopefully solo streaming on Friday. A really fun solo RPG that I just got on itch called Are You the Witch? I think is what it's called. I'll be putting deets of that up on Twitter probably about 9 o'clock Dublin time, which is GMT, if you are around and want to join us. So anyway, thank you all, and good night all. Bye everybody.
Bye.
bye.